This is one of the most famous travel destinations in all of Italy, and it's very evident just in this scene alone. Right now, it's early October 2024, and Cinque Terre is packed with people. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from. Today, we're going to explore Cinque Terre, which means the five lands. And we are going to explore first the city of Vernazza and then potentially hop around. Let's see if we can hop around via ferry or a boat or potentially walk to the other city. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. And right now we're in the northern part of Italy in what's called the Italian Riviera area in the region of Liguria. We're about an hour and 15 minutes. It took me actually a little bit longer, about 2 hours to get here from Genoa. And this is known as one of the more famous places in Italy. And Genoa there wasn't that many tourists, but here, oh yeah, it's filled with tourists. This is also accessible via Pisa, which is closer to Florence. So you can actually get here from another side of Italy, closer to the Tuscany side. So let me know where you're watching from and let's explore Cinque Terre. So welcome everyone. Nice to see you here. Hello Tim's, nice to see you here. Hello Thomas, hello Infinity, welcome. And I am super hyped to show you this place. A lot of people have told me throughout the years to come to Cinque Terre, and I wonder what the hype is about. You know, I've already been to beautiful Amalfi Coast, to Positano and Sorrento and Capri, and Cinque Terre is kind of like the Amalfi Coast of the north, and it has a lot of fame. It started back in Portofino, which is not part of Cinque Terre, but it's close, all the way many decades ago in the 50s and 60s, the first heyday of Italian tourism. And then Cinque Terre was fairly disconnected and remote from the rest of Italy until the train started being built here, and then a little known travel guide by the name of Rick Steves actually put on the map back in the 1990s, and it has become packed ever since. And right now we are right by the seaside. I just had a nice pizza right here at this place, which I will recommend as we pass in front of it. But look at these views. I had to rush over here today because it is the only sunny day in forecast in the next week. So I had to take advantage of the sun. I thought October would be warm and sunny, but no, it's actually very rainy and cold, at least this October. But luckily today I have 67 degrees Fahrenheit weather and sun. Edward says Rick Steves is great. Rick Steves is great. Helena, nice to see you here from New Zealand. Welcome. Bill says you gotta hike all five. You know, I was tempted, but I don't have too much time. There's train strikes happening, unfortunately, which are causing disruption in train service. So I decided not to. This is Ananassos bar. Really, really good pizza bar. Right here, right by the seaside. Don't be afraid of eating at these touristy restaurants, especially if it's pizza. You generally be okay, or some basic pasta dishes. They'll generally have good food. Even the rating sometimes might be low, might be very packed with tourists, but you might get charged just a bit more, but it's very, very rarely in Italy a ripoff, and generally you have good enough food. And I had actually an amazing pizza stopping by here. Because in some of these touristy places you can really struggle if you want to find like exceptional food. So don't overthink it. So there is a little beach of sorts. Cinque Terre is also very famous for beaching, but that's another nearby place of the five, Monterosso. Infinity says, do you have a team to assist you in gathering information about the new places you visit? No, I do not. I have not hired a researcher. Um, and for example, today, I am not really of this place. So this is more of my spontaneous exploration. I have not had the chance to see Cinque Terre. Came here by train, 2 hours, a little bit less than 2 hours from Genoa. Took 2 different trains, a regional train to a nearby city, and then another regional train to get here. And as I stopped off the train, I went immediately to have some food and coffee before I started this live stream. So I haven't explored Cinque Terre at all. So you're all experiencing it with me for the first time if you also haven't been here. I'm already stunned by the views. I'm actually surprised by the crowds. Coming here in early October, I did not expect crowds like these. I thought it would be fairly empty, actually. Just like Greece is in certain parts in October. Lena says, I love the colorful buildings. Me too. Me too. The colorful buildings. No wonder they
So finally.
I mean, I got lucky when I went to Amalfi Coast back in 2021 summer. And it was not really that packed. But that was because Italy was just reopening to travelers and you had to show a whole rigmarole of vaccination proof. So it was a bit difficult to get to Italy back in 2021. So I had the blessing of seeing Amalfi Coast fairly calm. But I think now tourism is in full swing. And I just recently heard from a TikToker that does Italy travel information. I think it's called Italy Travel Talk, his account. And he mentioned that in October, this October, 2024, Italy is #1 amongst American tourism. That blows my mind. Mika says it's crazy the amount of tourists. Yeah, the reason I mentioned Rick Steves in the beginning is because I've heard him express kind of a regret of highlighting these places a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades ago. Because probably when he first visited, this was like a charming little fishing town with not that many tourists, if any. So it would have been very charming back in the 1980s coming over here on a whim. And especially it might have been a little bit difficult to come over here. I've experienced such adventures in Greece and mostly Greece. Greece is parts of it still fairly untouched by tourism. So I can imagine going to this place, calm, little fishing village, kind of magical on your own, having some authentic Italian food by the seaside, and then many years later or decades later, it's packed to the brim with tourism and the vibe has changed. I can imagine that it is a bit of a conflict if you talk about travel on the public level. Inspire Life says, I'm going to Italy in 2026. Hey, oh, that's so awesome, man. Yeah, you're going to love it. Especially as an architect, you're just going to love Italy. It just has so much to offer. Helena says, time for affogato. Marie says, is it time for a gelato stop? I already had my doppio, which is double shot of espresso. I could always use more espresso, actually. But no gelato at the moment. But soon. Do you feel that social media has spoiled some of the secret, beautiful locations? Just travel has changed. Travel has changed significantly to Europe. I was actually reflecting upon this recently. I've been to a lot of parts in Europe, and I've been so lucky to do so. I'm very blessed, and I will have memories that are forever seared into my mind. But I've noticed something when hanging out with groups of friends or going to like dinner parties or like meeting people in real life at like networking events or some type of social gathering. I tell them, oh yeah, I've been extensively through Europe. Like I've been extensively through Italy, through Greece, through the Netherlands, England. People usually never ask me questions. They never say, oh, where? Oh, how was Florence? Or, ooh, how was the Peloponnese? Or, oh, how was Sheffield in England? I usually never get those questions. People kind of just like, oh, that's nice. And that's it, the conversation ends. And then I've encountered people who, in the same situations, have been to like China or Japan or Bali or parts of Africa. And people are like, oh, how was it? Well, how was the culture? How was it? How was the architecture? Like, was it hard? Was it difficult? Was it safe? People get really intrigued. So I think the novelty factor of Europe has kind of faded away, which is a bit sad to see, because I was thinking that Rick Steves in the 1980s would have had a very different experience probably talking about his European adventures to people in the States. They would probably have been endlessly fascinated. But that doesn't seem to be much the case anymore. And I think it's because of the gigantic rise of tourism that now these places are becoming rather commonplace for many people in the Western world and parts of the Far East to come over here and just enjoy every summer. Susie says tourism is good for the economies. Yeah, it's also a very complicated question whether it's good for the economy or not. Yes, in certain respects it brings a lot of money. Marie says people think they know Europe like Americans think they know America. Yes, I think a similar phenomenon happens with America. Susie says you need to go to travel beyond Europe. Maybe go to Russia. Russia, yes, YouTubers that go to Russia end up getting millions of views. That's for sure. Infinity Sora says, my friend is skeptical that you recommend restaurants purely out of your own, because you like them, not because they compensate you. I've only been paid by a restaurant once in my life, and it was through an app called Allset. That was in late 2017. I haven't been paid by restaurants. It's not really something I look for sponsorships. So all the restaurant reviews that I'm giving, either it's places that I just randomly go to, search on Google myself and do research, maybe learn from other vlogs, or they're friends of mine. And when they're friends of mine, I make it clear. You end up seeing the person behind the counter that's a friend of mine. So yeah, all these restaurant reviews are completely my own thoughts. Of course, you have to take it into consideration if it's a friend of mine. I'm not going to rail against a friend's restaurant. But here in Italy, since I don't have that many friends in Italy, yep, all the restaurant recommendations I'm giving are the ones that I just enjoy. So here's some boat tours. Look at this. Every hour, 5 Terre panorama tour. 2-hour tour where we see Cinque Terre villages from the sea. 50 euros each. Hey, that's not too bad. So here you can take your boat tours. These guys are about to set sail themselves. So that's one cool thing about Italy, is that you can sometimes spontaneously take a boat tour. There's sometimes a lot of options. This also applies to Greece. Christine, hello. Mika, nice to see you here. Helena says, thank you for this. My pleasure. Christine says you should go to Africa. I think I should. Europe has always drawn. I've always felt immense. I've always felt drawn to Europe just because I really love Western history. And I love the cities of Europe. They have, I think, so much to offer in terms of urbanism. Maurice says Kira's back with Kevin Bacon. Different Kira, Maurice. Oh my, that's kind of cool. No wonder this visit is so gorgeous. I can just imagine the first tourists that attempted to come here back in the 60s, 70s. It probably was such a mind-blowing sight. Mia says, have you been to Cyprus? No, not yet. Hey, George says, good morning. I'm awake at 8:04 a.m. in a cool, sunny Detroit. The Cinque Terre villages are always on your bucket list. Oh, man, I'm so glad I can show it to you. A little preview. Christine says, I don't know what why Facebook always has issues with lives. I'm not sure. Facebook has kind of given up on live video. So a lot of the features that used to be here kind of gone, which kind of sucks. Inspire Live says, is this a day trip? Yes, a day trip from Genoa. Mia says, I've always wanted to go to Lebanon, but it's so bad right there. Yeah, unfortunately. This is just a bar. There we go. Helena says, have you had any mussels, quina, sea urchins, or pawa, which is abalone? No, I've only had anchovies thus far. I had mussels briefly, which were really good. Anchovies here in this region are also amazing. I had an anchovy pizza, and it's not the same as you would have in the States. Anchovies here in Italy are really, really good. Even if you're not an anchovy fan, try anchovies in Italy for sure. But we are in the region where most of the cuisine is seafood oriented. And keep that in mind when you're traveling in Italy. Unlike Greece, unlike even France or in England, generally the cuisine is very regional. And Italians generally prefer to eat things of the region. So if you're right by the seaside, you'll see most people indulging in seafood. If you are in Tuscany, you'll see people indulging more in meats and truffles and mushrooms. So it depends on the region. People will be indulging in the local cuisine. People are going in for a swim. That's brave of them. Let me know, would you swim in October in the Mediterranean? In the Ligurian Sea?
Aspettare 2 minuti.
All right, we're gonna go walk. Kan nog bada till och med.
Ja.
Maurice, still warm. I think it's slightly warm. So I think the Mediterranean really starts cooling down mid to late October. Expire Lifestyle says, does it have a seaside smell? Indeed it does. Jason says, is this really live? No, it's not Jason. Indeed, there's always Jasons tuning in, so that's why I'm saying hello to a Jason out there, but not you, Jason, specifically. Not you, Jason Martanglia. Part of the mispronunciation. Marie says, good, there's no Starbucks. No. Again, a lot of these places have like quick coffees that you can buy at the counter, sip at the counter. Well, Inkspire Live says this looks like a James Bond film set. I wouldn't in doubt that there has been a James Bond film shot in Cinque Terre or very nearby. I think Portofino nearby is a James Bond location in one of the films. Hey, Swisser Christine, nice to see you here. Welcome. Here's a dedication to all the dreamers out there. May your dreams come into fruition. There we go. George says, The Spy Who Loved Me. Ooh, Spy Who Loved Me takes place nearby. John says, just like Venice, the Cinque Terre town seemed to suffer from over-tourism. Yeah, right now it's very full. But I can just imagine coming here in summertime. It'll just be so crazy packed. I can just imagine that. So here's the train station. The town is not really that big. There is a castle fortification nearby that one can access. Let's see.
To allow the passengers to exit first. Thank you for your cooperation.
Hello, Gwen. Nice to see you here, Gwen. Welcome. Brown Eyed Girl says, I'm so loving your replays. I apologize for not seeing your lives. I've been traveling myself. Hey, I'm so glad you've been traveling yourself. Marcus says 4 million tourists per year. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Moses. Nunca veio pro
So this reminds me so much of Positano in the Amalfi Coast. All right. So all these towns, 4 out of the 5 towns are nestled into the actual cliffside, cut up into terraces. So it's impressive engineering. The first mention of Cinque Terre dates all the way back to the 11th century, but where Cinque Terre really started developing was back during the times of the Republic of Genoa, which was around the 1600s or so, 1500s. And that's when they really started digging into these cliff sides and making these towns. One of the towns, though, is located in the actual mountaintop, or further up in elevation. So this was fortified more when the Turks started attacking port towns all around Italy and the rest of the Mediterranean. If you saw my Greek broadcast, the Greek islands, you probably noticed, oh yeah, the Turks were all over the place. And that included here, and that's why they fortified these cities on these cliffsides. So this was always been a very remote area. Unfortunately, it was devastated during World War II due to its nearby importance of the ports in Genoa. And then later on, they end up rebuilding and inserting the train, and that's when people started really coming in. Mika, thank you so much for tuning in, and Christine, thank you so much for 500 stars. Okay, so we saw this little town. Let's see if we can hop onto the train to the next town. Let me know. Do you want to hop on the train to the next town? I'll show you how to buy a ticket, and I think we'll have service going to the next station. So let me know.
Ma Puccio? Via.
Yeah.
Il treno regionale 12229 di Trenitalia, proveniente da Sestri Levante e diretto alla Spezia Centrale, delle ore 14:24, è in arrivo al binario 2. Attenzione! Allontanarsi dalla linea gialla, ferma in tutte le stazioni.
D. Trenitalia, Regional Train 12229 from Sestri Levante to La Spezia Centrale, with scheduled departure at 2:24 p.m., is now arriving on platform 2. Please stand behind the yellow line. This service will call at all stations.
Annuncio ritardo. Il treno Cinque Terre Express regionale 22926 di Trenitalia, proveniente dalla Spezia Centrale e diretto a Levanto, delle ore 14:14, arriverà al binario 1. Con un ritardo previsto di 15 minuti.
Vieni tu me la ripeti. No, amore, ti prego. Prendi Bruno. Vieni.
Il treno regionale 12229 di Trenitalia, proveniente da Sestri Levante e diretto alla Spezia Centrale, delle ore 14:24, è in arrivo al binario 2. Attenzione! Allontanarsi dalla linea gialla, ferma in tutte le stazioni.
Yeah, we're not gonna. It's worth it. I don't think it always goes. What? Yeah, it's $200 here. So we'll just take the
Se no paghiamo per 4.
I don't know, but that's the one we need to get. We need to take one that takes
Skype por ακόμα.
Attenzione! Invitiamo i viaggiatori a prestare la massima attenzione sulle barchine e a bordo dei treni a causa della possibile presenza di bosseggiatori. Grazie per l'attenzione. Annuncio ritardo. Il treno 5 Terre Express regionale 22926 di Trenitalia, proveniente dalla Spezia Centrale e diretto a Levanto, delle ore 14:14 arriverà al binario 1, con un ritardo previsto di 10 minuti. Diversamente da quanto già annunciato.
20 screens. I'll walk you through it for there at the same time. Like, even in English, good luck in Italian.
Il treno 5 Terre Express regionale 22926 di Trenitalia, proveniente dalla Spezia Centrale e diretto a Levanto, delle ore 14:14 è in arrivo in ritardo al binario 1. Attenzione! Allontanarsi dalla linea gialla, ferma in tutte le stazioni.
B. Trenitalia. 5 Terre Express Regional Train 22926 from La Spezia Centrale to Levanto, with scheduled departure at 2:14 p.m. is now arriving delayed at platform 1. Please stand behind the other line. This service will call at all stations.
Il treno 5 Terre Express regionale 22926 di Trenitalia, proveniente dalla Spezia Centrale e diretto a Levanto, delle ore 14:14 è in arrivo in ritardo al binario 1. Attenzione! Allontanarsi dalla linea gialla, ferma in tutte le stazioni.
Are you finished?
Beware of pickpockets. In case of need, ask only Trenitalia staff for more information. Insert your card. Take out your card.
So this has to be validated. You validate here. Right here, there we go. See the little marker? So you saw an example of the process taking a long time because the machines are so slow. That's why. And the trains are packed. So yeah, the machines are slow, and then they are slow to respond. They barely have a quick response time. So there's too many options, too many prompts, and I think that's why people get really, really confused. Naturally, and especially with the language barrier, even worse. So it does suck. And I do it fast because I already know it. I've experienced with machines all around Europe.
C'ho una fretta incredibile.
God. So it should be only about 10 minutes, a little bit less than 10 minutes to get to the next stop. So the trains are comfortable. These are the regional trains. There's a line that goes through the five towns. One of them you do have to walk up and go further uphill. I think there might be a funicular, but I'm not 100% sure. Susie says, so it's not enough to buy a ticket, you have to validate it too. You do, unfortunately. All right, what time is it?
With the rest of them now, because the rest of them are over there.
Okay. So we survived that train journey. So right now we're in the city of Monterosso. Susie says you could have walked. So That might appear to be the case because if you're watching from New York City, you're probably very used to subway speeds or Long Island Railroad speeds or Metro North speeds or path speeds, or basically the speed of any major public transportation in the US is generally about 60 miles per hour. This was going more than 90 km per hour, and higher than that, it was exceeding 100 km. So it was going rather fast. Plus, it was going through these mountains, tunneling through the mountains along the coast. So there is no direct pathway from Vernazza to here to Monterosso via sea level. You have to go up into the mountains and hike a trail to go from one town to the other, which is doable. I heard it's moderately challenging. There's very steep sections between these two towns. So Peter says, yeah, it goes around 60 miles per hour. Yeah, it goes around the same speed as the Long Island Railroad at its fastest, but definitely a bit slower. Oh, way faster than the New York City subway system, for sure. So now we are in Monterosso. Monterosso is the only sandy beach in Cinque Terre. It's also the more resort town of Cinque Terre, and is also the place where you can catch high-speed rail to Genoa and to Pisa. And look at the clouds. Oh my. Peter says, shortest train ride ever. Yes. The walk would have taken us like an hour. The train ride was very quick. George says Ariel was talking low to not bother other passengers. So yeah, before I explore the town, let me explain the machine situation to all of you. If you can, buy your ticket on your phone, and that's what I've been doing. So download the Trenitalia app. That's the number one app you'll need. The only third-party app I would recommend is Trainline, but use Trenitalia first. Trenitalia app, they have it in English, I think they have it in other languages. And you'll be able to buy your tickets easily and fast and the same price that you would at the machine. And you don't need to validate. It automatically validates. So you can buy your ticket, get on the train, that's it, you're done. If they check it, they check you in, that's it. When it comes to the machine is rather slow and cumbersome. It has way too many options, way too many prompts, asks you way too many questions. Basically, it's a horribly designed UI, user interface. There's way better user interfaces in American machines. That's why America definitely has a big one-up over Italy. Over there, we have way better machines for buying Metro. So that's why you'll always see people struggle to buy tickets. They're always all confused, and it's not very responsive, so it goes slowly. You press, and then you have to wait like a second. So like me, for example, sometimes I go too fast, and the screen starts locking down. And that's why there's always a line in these ticket booths. So do yourself a favor, buy in the app. I bought in the ticket booth because I'm using my cell phone to live stream. So just to make it easier, and just to show you the process of the ticket booth, just so you know not to do it. All right, now let's explore Monterosso with the hordes of tourists. This is such a stark difference from Genoa. Genoa, there's almost no tourists. Isa says, can you put the links in a post? Do my best, Isa. Yes. The app name, you can write it down right now, is Trenitalia, Trenitalia. Trenitalia. One word. That's the app. You can download it on Google. You can download it on Apple. I'm not sure if you can download it on the other phones. There might be a Chinese app for it as well. But Tren Italia. Isa says, I saw the lasagna pic you posted. It looked amazing. Yes. That was in Bologna, and it was one of the better lasagnas I've had in my life. But we are no longer in lasagna territory or pasta bolognese territory. You can find those things, but if you're in Genoa, the best bet, and the Italian Riviera and Cinque Terre, the best bet is to have seafood. Seafood and pesto, and a few other local dishes like focaccia bread. Gigi, thank you so much for writing the name of the app. I appreciate you. So people here at the beach, it's warm enough for beach weather. So that's awesome. I barely need my jacket at the moment. Let me know, will you beach in 67-degree Fahrenheit weather? The waters are looking nice though. My expectations were very low for the water here in Monterosso, but no, really nice. Yes. Hello, Colleen. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Marcus says, is it true that Italians are better dressed than the Swedes? So I don't have that much experience with Swedish culture. I had 1 week in Stockholm. The Swedes dress well, but minimalistically. So it's very minimal, and there's more athleisure. So in Italy, the reason Italians are able to tell that you're not Italian is the way you dress. They can easily tell if you're Italian if you're dressed well, and it's very subtle. It's like the shirt is in the right place. It's well buttoned. You have you're not wearing polyester sweater or something like that. You're not wearing a baseball cap. Your sneakers are just right, or your shoes are just right. It's the little things that Italians really notice. So by far of any of the cultures I visited, the Italians are the best dressed, men and women, for sure, almost throughout the entire country. The more northern you go, the better dressed you see. So if you want to blend in as an Italian, and I have, I've been to a lot of these touristy and local places, and they've spoken to me in Italian initially. And then when I switched to English because I don't know Italian, they apologized, saying, oh, I thought you were Italian. And that's because I've been dressing pretty well for Italian standards. So I've been able to blend in. Wow, that's stunning. Almost says well-groomed too. Yeah, well-groomed. Well-groomed. The beards don't get too, if you're a man, the beards don't get too raggedy. Hands are fairly well manicured. Yeah, it's the tiny things, really. Hair's nice and combed. It really is all the tiny things. During World War II, Americans that tried to infiltrate Germany and pass off as Germans had a fairly easy time. But when they tried to infiltrate Italy and pass off as Italians, they got spotted almost immediately. And it was all due to the Italians just picking up that style. They know if someone's not so well dressed. Peter says, your Spanish doesn't help you understand Italian? Yes, it does, but I can't speak it. And Italian being spoken at a normal rate is a bit hard to pick up. If they were to speak it slowly, I would be able to catch it. I think if I were to spend a few months here, I would be able to catch Italian don't think the learning curve would be too high. But reading is fairly easy for me. I usually don't need an English menu for per se because I can make out most of the words because I know Spanish. Susie says, what's it like getting a haircut and shave in Italy? You know, I think I've done that once in 2021. I haven't done it this time around. So I don't know. Lorraine says that's true for all ages. Yes, about the style, yes. Also true for all ages. Thank you, Lorraine. All ages, all generations. Younger kids are pretty well put together. Elderly are very well put together. Susie says your hair looks well maintained. I got a haircut right before traveling. So that's why it still looks well maintained. Plus, like comb. I use a little thing called a comb. I carry a comb with me. Wow. Lorraine says amazing, that shot. Yeah. It's such a beautiful place. No wonder it's so well visited. Oh my, the crowds. Look at that. Ida says sounds wonderful too. It really is. Even the seashore rocks are colorful. They are. All right, let's go up here. Let's see what's further ahead. Mika says that was beautiful. Yeah. Great way, great meditation. Ida says you gave us all a 1-minute meditation. Indeed. Here's a tunnel. So here's the hiking trail from Monterosso all the way to Rio Maggiore. And you can pass Monterosso, which means Red Mountain, Vernazza, where we were at right now. So we went from Vernazza to Monterosso. You can go to Corniglia, which is in the higher up in the elevation. And then you have Monterosso. And then I think that's it, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Madonna di Montenero. So running through extraordinary natural and man-made sceneries is this pathway. The itinerary is strenuous due to many climbs up and downs that have been hiked between the villages. In some parts, the trail is exposed. The route crosses small hamlets halfway the slopes like Prevo, Volastra, and Gruppo, but reaches also the villages of Vernazza and Corniglia, while a small detour to visit Monterosso. The hike through the vineyards of Volastra is gorgeous. The leg up can be in one day, even if it's difficult to limit your stay in these unique villages. So 14.6 km. Let me know the translation in miles.
We didn't have to go through the tunnel. Came around, yeah.
Almost says, was a guy hugging a mannequin? Yeah. So.
Nee, wir springen nirgendwo.
So, wow, I think what we're looking at is a lookout, fortified lookout. Probably from World War II. Looks like it. That's cool. Donald says this could be our secret urbanist HQ. It can be. Perfect place to have HQ right over here. Inspire Life, thank you so much. 9 miles. Wow, 9 miles to get over to all the 5 towns. Plus all the sightseeing, you're going to take a while. About 8.5, says Peter. Okay, 8.5 to 9 miles. Wow. That's stunning. This one's a little bit tougher. Slippery rock. I'm going to show it to you from this perspective.
Would you take a picture of me?
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah. Let me put my camera down. Where will you like it?
Just
This way? Yes. I'll go behind you. Right. All right, there we go. I took a few. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, this lookout point is a bit tough to get to right now. This rock, I don't trust it. I don't have the proper footwear. I'm wearing Converses to get inside. But there we go. Look at that. But we could go on top of it. Let's see if this is sturdy. Looks like it. All right. I'm on top of the lookout point. Whoa. This is so cool right now. On top of an old World War II lookout point. Most likely built by the Italians while they were the Axis powers against the Americans and Brits in sight. Cinque Terre was bombarded, hit by the Allied forces. But luckily, the old town of Genoa, which is nearby, old port city, luckily it was mostly unscathed, which was good. That's why we see the old town center of Genoa yesterday. It's pretty much all there. There's a few modern buildings, but pretty much it's one of the largest historic centers in all of Europe. Marie says, that's a good thumbnail. Yes, it is a good thumbnail. All right, one more. Wait. Gotta get the right framing. There we go. Yeah, that's the thumbnail shot. All right, let's go over there. Do I climb? Should I go on these and climb? Should I like kind of like maneuver to that spot, or should I go the long way? Let me know. What do you vote? Or should I dive and then swim around the rocks and then get to there, somehow climb up that platform and then get to that? There's 3 options here. Going down feels more scary than going up. Inspire Life says he votes for a jetpack. Marie says, I hope you get some postcards in Cinque Terre. I think I will.
Perché stai salendo? Ah, non lo so. Vogliamo fare un panoramico. Ah, ok.
Even in the restaurant that's on the Michelin Guide with gorgeous views like these and one of the most packed tourist sites in all of Italy, still charges less than your average New York restaurant.
Challenge today. No. Kaj si prinesel s sabo?
Wow. Ooh, Ferry.
Oui, c'est vrai.
Now there is just one, that is a Padre Renato. Let's turn the convento in a kind of like a holy.
Hey, Dirk says, amazing. I was there a couple of years ago. Have a great time. Hey, thank you so much. Inspire Life, yeah, I was lost there for a few seconds, but I'm back. Let's see if we can catch a ferry. Let me know. Do you want to attempt to catch a ferry? Time permitting. Let's see. Let's see if it's doable. That's the cool thing about traveling spontaneously. You can just hop around, don't worry. Trains run, I think here till about like 8, 9 p.m. So I have quite a little bit of time of allowance. Susan, nice to see you here. Marcus says, yes, ferry. All right, let's see if it's doable. Hey, there's the train. There's a freight train. Look at that amazing engineering. Who says that we can't build high-speed rail through the mountainous terrains of the US? This is evidence. Hey, Susan. Can you see me? Can the Twitch viewers see me? So I walked up and back down, saw the views, but there's a tunnel you can cut across.
Grace.
Hey, what's the next ferry to Manarola?
Vernazza port is close to
It's
there.
close. Oh, okay. Where do you recommend going?
Or you can go in Rio Maggiore instead.
Okay. How much is it?
325 in
What-
20 minutes.
20 minutes. I'll have one ticket, please.
Okay.
Grazie.
15 euros.
My card.
Okay.
And it stops here?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
over there.
Grazie.
Thank you.
Grazie mille.
Ciao.
Christine, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says you can take a small ferry boat to Positano. I'm not in the Amalfi Coast right now. Right now, I am in the opposite side of Italy. I am in northern Italy by the Ligurian Sea in the region of Liguria in Cinque Terre. But yes, it is possible to take ferry boats in the Amalfi Coast as well. But right now, we're going to take a ferry boat to Rio Maggiore to see actually all the 5 towns. This is actually a very good opportunity. So, we lucked out. 20 minutes. I got to put on a timer. Did the sponsor collab happen, says Almo? It did. It did happen. All right, I don't see a place to grab a coffee here, so I got 20 minutes. Let's show you a little bit of the views. So Almo says, did the sponsor post? Yeah, I worked with Siemens Mobility, and that was in Berlin, but I didn't have time to live stream in Berlin. So next time. Almo says the contrast says it was cheap ticket. Yeah, 15 euro to take the ferry to Rio Maggiore, which is basically, we're in the first town of Cinque Terre in terms of north to south, and we're gonna go all the way down to the basically the second to last town south. So we're gonna see nearly all the towns. Marie says 20 minutes, that is a gelato time. Indeed, it is a gelato time. Let's see if there is gelato. There's bound to be some gelato. All right, I gotta keep track. So in 10 minutes,
Want to come for a walk?
10 minutes, give me a warning because I'm walking back. Christine, thank you so much for sponsoring part of the ferry ticket. Everyone's wearing a light jacket. Yeah, because it's a bit lightly cold. Yeah, 67 degrees Fahrenheit. You're in the shadow and right by the wind. Oh my. This is the intercity. This one goes fast. All the way to Genoa and or Pisa. Christine says there is a ferry to Portofino. Ooh, that's good to know. Portofino, I haven't heard the best reviews. Let me know if people have enjoyed Portofino. But I decided to skip it in favor of going today to Cinque Terre. Dirk says, will you go back to Berlin? I don't have set plans to go to Berlin in the immediate future. If I had more time, I would have loved to live stream more. Christine says Portofino was nice. It was small, but you still enjoyed it. I'm so glad you did. Good to hear.
I don't think he's doing accounting.
I really like this town. It's very nice. Maury says you passed several gelato spots. I'm being discerning. Such a charming town. Hello, Contrast, and welcome to the live video. Wow.
Anche farina.
All right, there's not many shops beyond here. That was a beautiful little town. Let's go back to the ferry, shall we? I think there'll be a coffee break by the time I get to Via Maggiore. 것 같은데. Coisas. Oh!
Per il ragazzo.
Grazie mille. Buongiorno. Buongiorno.
Oggi è il gigante Terre.
Grazie mille.
Prego, qua c'è l'euro di Simone. Io non penso che in Australia abbiano le nostre.
No, guardate, sono le moccine, fanno buono le moccine.
Coffee's pretty much universally 120. Coffee's pretty much universally 120. Maximum 140. Maximum 140 you might be charged.
Un occhio alla Nutella, un bombolone e 2 cappuccini molto caldi.
Oh wow.
Però questo è il diverso.
Buona giornata. Grazie. All right, let me know if you see me and hear me. I just had a little coffee break. Hopefully it caught it in camera. I just had a little coffee break. Hopefully it caught it in camera, but really good, solid coffee. And the little pastry thing, mesaluna, was really good. It's like a little cookie stuffed with jam. All right. Was the coffee good? Yeah, it was. Now I gotta rush over to the ferry because now we only got about 8 minutes left. Let me know if you were able to see the little coffee segment. Scusa. Grazie. Okay, let me know if you still see me and hear me. I'm not sure if the service went fully out when I was drinking a coffee, but now I'm rushing over to the ferry. We only got about 8 minutes left, but luckily I'm right there. People are already sitting in the ferry. Oh my God, this ferry is gonna be packed. Susan says, seat in here. Tim says, best coffees I've had were in Greece and Italy. Yes, I agree. Greece, Italy, almost everywhere I had great coffee. Oh. So the ferry's already getting super packed. Whoa, did not expect this. Gotta mute for a little bit because there's loud music.
Vernazza, Rio Maggiore.
Rio Maggiore?
Vernazza, Rio Maggiore.
Grazie. Buongiorno. Grazie. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, adesso gli scrivo.
Grazie. All right. We are on board. Almost no one's indoors right now. Everyone's outdoors. I'll enjoy the comfy seat because, oh, it's nice. Oh, it's interesting. This is pretty comfy. I like it. Plushy. You know, beds in Italy are not the most comfortable, but this is fairly plushy, which is good. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. That is plush. The plush is right. So, bench review. It's plush. I like the plush. It's very rare to find a good plush, especially in Italy. Italians, for some reason, don't really believe in plush, with beds, with chairs. But this one is nice. A little bit of bounciness. They believe in bounciness for pasta, but not for their seats. I like it that's pretty chilled down here, and then we're about to see beautiful views of Cinque Terre. I give this bench, aka seat on the ferry, a solid 8.3 out of 10. Feeling a bit generous. gorgeous how the mountains in the distance look like, the clouds in the distance look like mountains. So beautiful. All right, we're about to be off. Oh, I'm so excited. I am really hyped to see the towns of Cinque Terre from the view of the seaside. So driving in Cinque Terre is probably not advisable. I have heard countless vlogs, blogs, Rick Steves, podcasts, and etc. that driving is not advisable here. Mater says, would you say that the Italians are a bunch of hard asses because of the lack of plushiness? Oh yeah, I would say that is a astute literal name, yeah. I'm not sure how long it's going to take us to get to Via Maggiore. Otherwise, if I miss the last train, I guess I'm sleeping over in Cinque Terre. And we are off. Behold, right there, we see Vernazza, where we just came from. We see another Old War II fortified lookout point. Susan says it's pretty. It really is. Wendy's tuning in. Are we here for the night? Well, I hope not. Susie says, what a hardship would it be to be stuck in Cinque Terre? Yeah, it would really suck. But that is life. That's the risks I take to provide quality live stream entertainment to all of you. I risk staying here in these stunning seaside towns. Contrast says left on time. It did. 15 euros to get from Monterosso to Via Maggiore. Not too bad. I think we're going to stop in Vernazza and I think we'll go to Via Maggiore. So I think it's a 2-stop ferry. Wendy says, are you hunting wedding locations? No comment, Wendy, no comment. Let me know, will you have lived here before the age of the train and highways? Cinque Terre barely had highways till the late 1900s, so this was very remote until very recently. Susie says, can you go to Sardinia tomorrow? Trust me, I'm tempted. I am very tempted to go to Sardinia. Miss Lob says, sure, I would love to go in these mountain trails and learn how to yodel. Marie says that this might be better in a helicopter. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm not sure what the wind situation is here. I'm surprised there are ferries. You know, usually in these kind of seaside towns, there's not that many ferries. Well, actually, we are in the Mediterranean Sea. We're not in the open ocean, so never mind. So I think we're seeing the other town. So here we see Vernazza, where I just visited first stop. And then I think we're seeing Monterosso. Or maybe it's the one right after. And then I think we're going to see the mountaintop town soon. Phantom says, have you been to Rhodos? No, I have not. How I love ferries. Wendy's asking, did you get water? I did. Got some water. Maria says, awesome to see these towns nestled in between these majestic mountains. Yeah, you know, something that came out of necessity during Renaissance times, all the way through the 1700s and 1800s. You know, a way to stay safe, nestled safely against the mountainsides, to protect themselves against raiders and pirates and Turks and Ottomans and all the stuff, which hasn't been the case in the US or in Canada or many parts of North America. And that's why we don't see towns like this nestled on cliff sides, as many at least, in America. Ida says, you did take us to the Hudson and different rivers, now the seacoast of Cinque Terre, yes. Oh, my absolute pleasure. Marie says, big smiles. You can see he is loving this. You should come and live in Europe, says Maurice. Indeed. It really is so beautiful. It really is. Contrast has got the spot to yourself. Yeah, because everyone's in the upstairs part, but kind of like how quiet it is in the interior part of the ferry. Very nice. So now we're approaching Vernazza. It's going to be our first stop on the ferry. I'm going to stay on the ferry and continue down to Via Maggiore. But here we can see the fortified lookout point that we saw from on land. Let's see if we can spot it. It really does blend into the rocks. It's kind of hard to spot, actually. But here we can kind of make it out. David says, have you got any plans to go back to Edinburgh? Not currently, but there is an Edinburgh documentary series in the making. 3 episodes coming out Christmas 2024 in a few months. April says, I hope you're ready to walk. I'm not walking yet. I'm going to Via Maggiore. So I'm going to stay on the ferry.
Vernazza, scalo di Vernazza. I passeggeri per Vernazza sono pregati di presentarsi sul davanti del battello vicino alla passerella di prova. Vernazza, next stop Vernazza. Passenger to Vernazza, please be ready to get off in the lower deck near the gangway.
Such strange trees that grow along the top of these mountains. Wendy says, are there caves? I don't know. If I were to speculate, I would say no. Most likely not too many. And the walking trail we can kind of see over here. Maria says it's interesting camouflaged it into the rock. Yeah, definitely the lookout point. So here we can see people hiking. That's why they actually have signs telling you, no, this is a hard hike. It's not 8.5 miles, but you have to go up and down, up and down. So pretty, not for the faint of heart. Yeah, so basically the high-speed train that we took, high-speed, but it went fast, went from here, Vernazza, all the way there to Monterosso. Alright, I'm running out of battery. Let me know if you want me to hook up to my battery pack, which I carry with me at all times. I have this smaller Anchor one. It's very powerful, USB-C, one of the better ones. Highly, highly recommend this brand. I'm not sponsored by them, but they're really, really good. It's my top travel recommendation. But let me know, should I hook in? I have to take off the mic so you'll hear wind, but at least I'll have battery till Via Maggiore. Is that castle? Yeah, it appears to be a tower, not a full castle. Michele Bosias. Alright. Alright, you might hear wind. There's nothing I can do. It's either battery or mic. Hopefully one day they'll improve these iPhones where you can hook up to a battery and use an external microphone at the same time. Wendy says, show more of you. I don't think people want to see my face, unfortunately, Wendy. I think people want to see the landscapes. Susie says, I'm starving, haven't had breakfast yet. Oh no, Susie. Alright, so we're going to be waiting here for a while. Feel free to ask me any questions you may have. Let me know if you have any curiosities about Italy, about travel, about life. Maurice says, only Ariel, indeed. This love says, but you are too part of the scenery. Oh, this shot I am, yes, right here in this frame. Hello, Gigi. Feel free to ask me questions. I've been enjoying my trip through Italy so far. It has been a really wonderful trip. It's very easy to transport around Italy back and forth through train. I haven't had to use a car really to get anywhere. I haven't had to use a bus service yet either, so it has been very, very easy. Sue says, is that a fight? No, just people laughing. Jason says, it's 11:45 p.m. here in Australia. Ooh, it's late. Oh, here we have a group of tourists. They're on the speedboat. Ooh, that sounds so much fun. I want to go on the speedboat. Yes, please. I need more speedboats in my life. Are you enjoying your stay in Italy? I am. It's a very easy country to visit. Definitely. Very fun. Lots of things to do. There's always a new town to explore. Everything's really accessible via trains. It's fairly easy to be spontaneous in Italy. It is a great, great country. It's the best country really to visit in terms of hopping around. Italy is number one in my opinion. Close number two would be the UK, and a close number three would be Ireland in terms of the ability to hop around from city to city, from town to town, from destination to destination. similar. So yes, France, you can do it as well. So that would be my top 4. Other countries are a bit tougher. Like Spain, I have not too much experience yet. Germany is a much bigger country, so the cities are in much larger distances. So it does require a little bit more planning to get from city to city. And then Poland, I don't know too much about Polish rail. I went by car, but Poland does not have too many like very interesting touristy cities. And then Denmark, it was very similar. Denmark only has really one big city, which is Copenhagen. And there's a few other sites related to Vikings, but Denmark is a very flat country. I would say the other country that was easy to visit via rail was Netherlands. Netherlands as well. There's a bunch of interesting cities all around the Netherlands. How do you manage to hold your gimbal for so many hours? I work out my forearms for hours on end. I just hold it. Luckily the gimbal is super lightweight. It's not really that difficult to hold. Wendy asks, what's your favorite food in Italy? So far my favorite dish in Italy has been tagliatelle bolognese, alla bolognese. So bolognese sauce from Bologna. So meat sauce, meat tomato sauce with pasta. So good. So far my best dish that I've enjoyed here in Italy, in my opinion. The second best would be wild boar ragu that I had in Tuscany. Brown Girl says, I appreciate the fact that you were into slow travel and go with your own flow and not rush through towns. Tread lightly and leave no trace. Yeah. You know, it's nice to go slowly. There's no rush. I mean, in Europe, I end up like traveling a lot because there's so much to see via, even at a slow, calm pace, I still see a lot. So that's the beauty of Europe. Austria is easy to get around, says Jason. I need to experiment more with Austria. I really did love my time in Vienna, and I love Salzburg, for sure, and I really liked Austrian culture and history, so I'm curious. Brawley Girl says, I must say you have to go to Lake Garda. I did post a little bit about Lake Garda on my Instagram story. I'll post it as a short video, but I did not get to live stream from there. So we went to Garda for a day, me and Kira, and we went from Verona as a day trip. It's only 15 minutes away by train, very close. And Garda, unfortunately, since it was so rainy, we didn't get to see any views, and it was a bit too cloudy. The only thing we really did at Garda was go to the town of Ceremoni, which was very beautiful. It's this little town that's like on a very thin peninsula that sticks into the lake, and then go to the thermal baths, which were really, really awesome. It was very relaxing time. Marie says, you might want to close the window in a bit. Ooh, is it gonna rain? I hope not. I hope not. Claire says, have you been to Portugal? No, not yet. Maybe one day. Portugal has been so overrun with tourists that I haven't thought of going yet because there's so many videos on it. In Greece, yes, I've been to Greece significantly, Claire. You can see all my live videos on Greece. Can you please tell us 5 top tips before traveling to Italy? Use the train app, Tren Italia. Tren Italia, A-L-I-A. Tren Italia. Tren Italia. Which translates to Train Italy. You can use it to get anywhere around the country. You can buy tickets. Prices are reasonable all throughout the country. use Tren Italia app. Download the app. Second pro tip is make sure you have service that runs internationally, data. Like T-Mobile in America has a fairly generous international data plan, but if you don't, buy yourself an eSIM. If you have a new iPhone, any iPhones that are above iPhone 12, I think, and most new Androids that were made in the past 3 years have eSIMs. The app I use is called Airalo. A-I-R-A-L-O. Airalo. I also use another app called Nomad. N-O-M-A-D. Download those 2 apps. Both are great, but sometimes one is cheaper than the other. And there you have data, internet reception, cell phone reception to use anywhere, in basically any country you decide to visit. I've used eSIMs all throughout Europe. Poland, Austria, Italy, Germany, England, France, list goes on. And then third tip is remember the food is good everywhere. Only in rare circumstances that you're in the middle of Rome, right by the Colosseum, right by Piazza Navona, if you're right in the middle of Florence, right in St. Mark's Square in Venice, aside from those super touristy areas, generally the food is going to be good everywhere. And you don't need to do too much Google Maps researching, which I've fallen victim to before and kind of got stressed about trying to find the right places. The thing is with Google Maps is that it's mostly foreigners rating the places here in Italy, and you might go to a place that's very highly rated, but the prices are a bit higher, it's a bit more fancier, and you didn't need to go there because the place right next door that might be a little bit more local is barely reviewed on Google Maps. So don't rely too much on Google Maps when you're here in Italy. It might sound a little bit risky, but generally you'll find good food everywhere. The things to look out for is just the big squares. If you're in a big square or a very popular area like Cinque Terre and you want to eat at the square or right by the seaside, then I would recommend just going for like a pizza or some basic pasta. Because the restaurants here, yes, they'll be more touristy, more expensive. The food won't be as good, but still be pretty good enough, especially with basic dishes. So that's why we recommend in the big touristy centers, just stick to pizza or basic pasta. If you want a full meal, just go to the off streets. And anywhere you go, basically any off street you go, you'll generally find great food. Italy does not have too many spots that are just terrible, especially when it comes to Italy. That is not the case in other countries. In America, you can find really good food and you can find really horrible food in many parts of America. Same thing in the UK, same thing in parts of France, same thing in Germany. But here, food generally is good. So that's my third tip. My fourth tip would be if you have time, only okay, actually no, my fourth tip would be stick to 2 or 3 major cities in Italy that you can day trip from. So a lot of people have only 2 weeks vacation if you're American. If you're in some parts of Europe, you may have a little bit more vacation. So you're gonna only spend maybe a week in Italy, maybe 2 weeks in Italy. If you do, don't try to cram it with a bunch of stops, small stops, all throughout Italy. Don't try to do Cinque Terre and Florence and Pisa and Tuscany, like a smaller town in Tuscany, Siena. Don't try and just cram a bunch of things. Stick to 2 or 3 big cities that have very good train connections to the places you also want to go. So if you want to go to Cinque Terre, either stay at Pisa or stay in Genoa. If you want to visit Pisa, and you want to visit Tuscany, and you want to visit Siena, and you want to visit maybe even Venice, stay in Florence. If you want to visit Venice and Milan and Lake Garda, stay in Verona. If you want to visit Orvieto and parts of Umbria and the seaside ancient Roman towns close to Rome, stay in Rome. You can even visit Naples from Rome. If you want to visit Positano and the Amalfi Coast, stay in Naples or stay in Sorrento. Only stick to 2 or 3 big cities, because from there you'll be able to explore a whole swath of Italy. Same thing applies to Milan. Wendy says it's burrito time. Oh, no burritos right now. No burritos. If locals eat there, it's pretty good, yes. So right now, I'm waiting for the ferry to depart. We're gonna see a little bit more views, and our last stop is going to be Via Maggiore, which I'll walk around and show you walking around. I'm super excited. And then the 5th tip. What would be the 5th tip? Let me know your tips for Italy for people who've traveled here extensively. My 5th tip would be, that was a bit tougher to think about that. My 5th tip would be, don't underestimate, this is going to sound rather obvious, but don't underestimate Venice and Florence. And Rome, to a certain extent, but Venice and Florence for sure. If you're of my generation, you probably have heard that Venice and Florence are overrated and that they are now worth going to, and they are indeed expensive. But do go. If you want to save money to go to Florence or Venice, then stay in Verona. And you can visit both as a day trip 1 hour away. And for sure, you're gonna have a beautiful time. Yes, they are outdoor walkable museum. They're more of a museum than a city, for sure. But it's worth it. One of the most stunning cities you'll ever see. And then Maurice says, try and speak Italian. Yes, know a few words in Italian. Buongiorno, buonasera, which are good morning, good afternoon. Buon giornata, have a good day. Buona serata, have a good evening. Buonanotte, good night. Grazie. Try and learn grazie and try and learn proper pronunciation, grazie, and it'll go a long way. You'll get way better service with everyone. Sorry, I'm recording right now and I'll be showing out the window. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. It's still fairly empty. They went to sit right next to me. This older couple, I'm like, no. Do not, please. I'm gonna stay really. Let me show you the outside. No one decides to sit. So, Maurice, yes, Prego is another one. Prego as well. You should learn. Sabi says, go with someone you love. Indeed. Welcome back here to a live video of exploring Cinque Terre. I had a lapse of service and now I'm back to show you more of this beautiful area of Italy. We're in northern Italy, right in the region of Liguria, close to Genoa by day trip. You go to day trip here from Pisa, famous for the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And we're going to enjoy a ferry ride to Via Maggiore right now. The ferry ride was €15 from Monterosso, which is one of the 5 towns of Cinque Terre. Cinque Terre meaning 5 lands. Marie says, we were afraid the older couple have thrown you overboard. Yeah, the ferry has gotten very packed, so I've claimed my spot here at the window before it gets even more packed with people. So hopefully we depart soon. I'm eager to see more of the coast, eager to see Via Maggiore, so we can get along with the show. A lot of people have boarded. I guess there's a few big tour groups. And it seems like now now we're finally off to Via Maggiore, one of the 5 towns of Cinque Terre. So that would make a total of 3 towns that we have the pleasure of seeing. Hey, Maria says $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Says thank you so much for the exploration and traveling advice. Always a pleasure for your travels. Hey, thank you so much. Says, do you know anything about the tower? It looks medieval. No, I don't know anything about the tower for sure. The tower probably is not medieval if I were to speculate. I would say the oldest it could be is about 1600s. I don't think it's older than that. It could be a modern tower, but or like a World War II one. So now we're en route to Via Maggiore here in beautiful Cinque Terre. We just passed Vernazza. Dr. Tachi, nice to see you here. Mika says, yeah, we're back. Yeah, we're back. Luckily, the YouTube live stream continues as one steady live stream, so if you want to watch the full replay, YouTube is the best platform to do so. Ronnie Girl says, you're going to Via Maggiore? Yep, that's going to be where I'm disembarking. Though it is good because it goes to La Spienza. Which is, this ferry goes to the city with the bigger train connections. Ronnie says Via Maggiore is the most romantic of the 5 towns. Oh, I'm glad. I was hoping to go to Monterosso, but Monterosso has no ferry service at the moment. Marie says the tower are the ruins of the Tower of Doria. Okay. So I think we're seeing Monterosso right now, maybe. Oh wow, this town is pretty. Look at that. Says, is that a winding road to go down to shore? Yes, it is. So you can take a boat tour, one of the organized day trip tours, and probably stop down below, and then you can hike up. Wow, such a stunning landscape. Marie says immersive wind sound brought to you by Ariel Russian Tours. Hey, thank you so much, Marie. Glad you enjoyed the immersive wind sound. Oh, hey, Mislav. So there is a medieval castle fortress at Vernazza. Oh, thank you so much. Kind of surprised it's medieval. Didn't think it would be medieval. Thank you so much for letting us know. Marie says, just hoping Ariel doesn't ban me. No, Marie. Janice, nice to see you here. Christos. Yasos. Thank you so much for tuning in, Christos. Tracy, welcome to the live stream. Wow. Alright, now we're going fast on the ferry. Alright, so I think that town is Consiglia, sorry. And I think now we're seeing Monterosso. Brown Girl says I don't know you other than here, but you really seem to be living your best life on so many levels. I am living my best life. Indeed I am. I'm very blessed and grateful for the ability to travel, to walk, to show, to explore these places, and to share it with the world as well. It's all an immense pleasure, and it being my work as well. So I couldn't ask for more. So this is a deep, deep pleasure, and I'm so glad so many people are enjoying these live streams and videos. I was hoping to go there. Maybe I can still go there by train. Who knows? But I think now we're going to approach Rio Maggiore, which I'm actually very excited for. Cristo says, you're a blessing for us too. Hey, Cristo, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much. I'm glad I can be. Chris says, we're jealous, but it's because of your hard work. Hey, Chris, thank you so much for tuning in. And hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better. Wendy says, is this a 24 hours ferry trip? No, I'm not heading over to Africa, North Africa. I'm not heading to Tunisia via ferry. We're close to our destination, our final stop on this tour, which is Rio Maggiore, our third town that we visited in Cinque Terre. We've seen 4 out of the 5 towns by sea, and then we're gonna end up seeing 3 by land.
Rio Maggiore, scalo di Rio Maggiore, next stop Rio Maggiore.
So we've traveled a long way from down there all the way to over here. I'm leaving with this. It says Vernazza is very beautiful. There's a trail somewhere in there. Indeed, we passed it. Thank you so much, Deborah. Ooh, all right. We're getting close. Wow. Brown Girl says, is it worth the ride? Yes, it certainly is.
Just gonna get in here and then I'll get out of your ditch.
No problem. Grazie mille.
Da coglioni con gli stipendi che non so.
Poi dopo quello di fare
All right, take your time. Oh.
You didn't want that?
Didn't want that one.
You want that?
The fact that it's been I'm glad I'm like,
You didn't get enough.
yeah.
Sí, pásasela al día.
Dai, vai chiudatela allora.
Wow. The sun's out finally, fully. Clouds have parted. That was the ferry I took, 15 euro, to get from Monterosso over here to Via Maggiore. And now let's explore Via Maggiore. The line for the ferry is gigantic. Wow. I guess, and all these people are heading towards the next city that has fast train service. I wonder why they're all cramming here.
Aspetta, Sari.
Se tu volevi il passaggio, non lo riaccompagnavo. No sé si nos toca.
Che sono questa?
Barry says the weather looks perfect and comfortable. It really is. I am stunned right now with the weather. I'm glad I went today because tomorrow's going to be all rainy. Next few days are going to be all rainy. Marie says, does it go to La Spezia? La Spezia, yes, see, that's the next stop. Hence, that's probably why it's getting crammed. A lot of people are going back to Pisa, or maybe they stay in La Spezia. Maybe these are a few tour groups that came from Pisa or came from Florence. Jan says, I can't stop saying wow. Yeah, exactly. Wow, indeed. Wow, indeed. This is the perfect place to enjoy a good aperitivo. Marie says from La Spezia you can go to the bigger cities. Yes, you can. I think that's why it's getting packed. Well, I'm kind of shocked people are not taking the train, but maybe the trains are also as packed. Whoa. Sero says, Italy is the most beautiful country in my opinion. Oh, yes it is. Shelley says, what's the approximate temperature? 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow.
Treba uno spiritismo no sul vero, magari.
C'è quello dietro. Aperti, guardate qua, sorridete. Was that me?
Helenas, how's the coffee? I bet it's all good. Yes, the coffee is great all around. I really love Italian coffee more than any other coffee around the world. And as much as New York has good coffee, just Italy is just a divine, beautiful experience over and over and over again having coffee here. I just love their kind of penchant for stronger, more chocolatey, creamier espresso than we get in the States or other parts of Europe. So welcome to Via Maggiore right over here. Bob says, I would touch everything in order to get the vibes. Yes. Well, look at this gorgeous town. Oh my. This one is stunning, like from a visual perspective. Oh, a boat tour is on the way. Wow.
Regarde derrière toi. C'est différent. Et tu vas pas avec.
Not compared to New York. I showed an example in the last town, Monterosso. I passed by a Michelin-rated restaurant, fine dining, with incredible views, and the plates were between the secondary plates, the second plati, which are more meats, heavier plates, Italy standards. But if you compare it to New York, that's like an average price in New York in a tiny little restaurant with nothing particularly special about it. So very, 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 very good prices here in Italy.
L'altro giorno mi era venuta voglia anche a me di fare un
Bad service.
Francesco, tutto bene?
Well, this is just stunning. Absolutely one of the more beautiful sights I've seen here in Italy. One more time. Anything you were hoping to see? No, nothing. Pretty much nothing in particular. Just the vibes. Maybe have a nice aperitivo, little cocktail, like a Americano, which is my favorite cocktail. It's like a light Negroni. And just wanted to enjoy the views. Not much here to see, so one more time, here's Via Maggiore I hope you enjoyed this epic adventure from Vernazza to Monterosso all the way to Via Maggiore. We saw a massive chunk of Cinque Terre, 3 out of the 5 towns by land. Show more, please. Yes, right over here. So he says, nice place for Airbnb. Yeah, there's Airbnbs here in these buildings. So you too could Airbnb here. There seems to be shaky service here as well. I'm glad I was able to step foot here in the middle of Via Maggiore. Wow. Teresa says, wonderful views. Oh, yes. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this live stream adventure through Cinque Terre. It is indeed very touristy, but if you do day trip it from Genoa or Pisa, I think it is worth it. I don't think you necessarily have to stay over a few nights, in my opinion. I like it as a day. Monterosso, if you have accessibility concerns, Monterosso is probably the easiest one to visit. As you saw, it was fairly flat, and you did get to see the views. The ferries are a bit tough accessibility-wise, but Monterosso seems to be the easiest one accessibility-wise. Vernazza seems to be the more bustling one, and then this one is the more beautiful one, Via Maggiore. So highly, highly recommend it. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Arrivederci, amici.